fofo. For the city and them back roads, got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the fofo and let's go. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating no dragons who run the whole city. You wildin', and they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and kinda got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the fofo. This for the fofo. This for the fofo.
All right, everybody, welcome back here to Los Compadres. My name is Sam Torres, and we are live at Los Compadres with The Lake Show. I'm here with my weekly co-host here, Coach Terry Henton, as we get ready to talk about the game against West Geauga, and we get ready to talk about the game coming up this Friday against Hawken. Obviously, not the ending we wanted.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not the ending we wanted, but I think one of the things you saw and one of the things I saw, anybody who was watching the game, there was a lot of great things that Lakeside was getting accomplished in that game. And, I want to start the show on a positive note. So what were some of the things from that game that you saw that you liked?
I think we're starting to come into our own. I know we didn't get the win. We didn't get the victory that we were looking for, but like you said, there was a lot of things that we can build on, and that's what we've been building on this week. Our guys understand the assignment a little bit. Like the kids say, they understood the assignment. But we're finding out what we can do. Good. I wouldn't say good, but the things that we do better than others. We're still working. We're still tweaking. We're still growing. Got to know. So the good things out of that game were, you're always asking the guys to be the best version of themselves, and we saw the best version of themselves out of a lot of the guys on the football field.
You most certainly did. I mean, there were some guys. I mean, obviously, the two guys we're going to talk to tonight, both Jorge Diaz, who is the Scout Team Player of the Week, and J. Anthony Williams, who I knew was going to be back on this show at some point when we interviewed him in the first place. Both of those guys had really big nights, but there's a lot of other guys on the team that really showed out and had big nights. And who were some of the guys that stuck out other than the two that are here?
I think our running game, the three-headed monster that we have,
The Hydra, baby.
Yeah, they did an excellent job. To be honest with you, Omar did a good job compared to where we've been. He hit the people, hit the receivers for the most part.
Yeah, I mean 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's growing. There's things that we have to fix in everyone. So I'm not going to down Omar, but I think he did a great job. Our defense, Tyree playing defensive end for the first time in the season, had the most tackles in the game of the season for himself. So that was a good job. Nate Bartone is always going to be Nate Bartone on the defensive side. He's our second leading tackler on the team. Sincere. He's showing everybody that he's a star. He went up and got the ball. He dove for a catch. He went up
he did,
and he head topped everybody for a catch. So, and he had a regular catch. So he did everything he was what was asked of him. Our offensive line, as small as they are, they're mighty. They don't go backwards. So without them, our running backs wouldn't have what they had. Our receivers wouldn't have what they had. So those are the things that we can build on.
I want to dive in a little bit on the Tyree Anderson getting moved down to the defensive end spot. You have that middle linebacking crew of Anderson and Bartone, and both of them are very, very effective. I would say above average at that position. To take a guy like Tyree Anderson and move him from the second level onto that first level, what were some of the things that, without giving me too much of the sauce?
All coaches know you. Obviously, we need somebody who can get to the quarterback. If you're going to pass on us, then we need somebody who can get there now. And Tyree has a plethora, of moves that he can use on the defensive line because he's been standing up for so long. He understands the movements, and so we put him down there, trying to make sure that he would attack people and use your hands. If you use your shoulder pads, you're in their world. There's a few times in the game we had to remind him you're in his world now. This is what he does, so you can't do what he does, and he did a phenomenal job at that. So going forward, he's going to be in both places. He understands the defense well enough that when we need you here, we can go here. When we need you there, we go there. So we can game plan for him now, and he can handle it. It's not the physical part.
It's got to be nice to have a guy that you can move to both of those places, because I think, from the just an outside, a superficial look at those two positions in middle linebacker and defensive end, it looks like they do the same thing, but they're really very, very different positions.
Vastly different. Like you're immediately touching somebody when you're a defensive end. Like you have to know how to get off of it. You need to know how to avoid it. You have to fire out faster than he does. You have to understand that he could be pushing you in 3 different directions, depending on, he could be setting you up, he could be trapping you, all these types of things when you're the defensive lineman. And when you're the linebacker, all those things happen, and you just find a gap and you fall through it. So we tried to marry the two with Tyree and say, you find a gap right now. You're not stronger than the guard or the tackle, but you're faster than both of them. And they know that too. So you got to get through the gate before they close the gate. And that's his mantra. I'm just going to get through this gate. And then, like we've been saying all week, guys, beating the offensive lineman when you're the defensive lineman, that's just opening the door to your job. Like that's the time clock.
Yeah.
So you went in, you got past the offensive line. Now you punched the clock. Now you got to go to work.
Now you got to make the play.
So he didn't understand that a lot last week, and this week you can see him shuffling, and now he's just not running in a straight line and hoping that he hits something. Like he's going back there with intention. So and Chris McKeechin is learning from some of his mistakes that he made in the game as well. Both of those guys are abnormally fast
for that position. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. When you talk about, defensive ends, I think, most of the time their biggest job is that containment, right? It's sealing off that edge. And when you've got 2 guys like McKeechin and Anderson on the edge, coming in, it really kind of disrupts that backfield. Another guy who really stuck out for me in that game was Aaron Artman.
My man.
Aaron Artman, who, we talked about him early in the year, how, he's leading the grade point average on the team. This is a guy that really gets it done in the classroom. But, man, Artman was making some plays in that game.
He's it's crazy. Like, but him and Tyree are both smart. And this is what I've been preaching since I've been here. They're literally, if you would say the top 10 people on the team, academically, they're both in it. Obviously, Aaron is probably number one.
Yeah.
So it wasn't teaching him another position wasn't hard. Like, he watches film. He has a minimum of 4 pages of notes like, every game. So if he knows the offense like that, and he was a D lineman, and then he's been begging to be a linebacker, and we were like, you can't play that. But, and we practiced it a week ago, just to see how it worked. We installed it last week because we said it will work, and here we are. So it wasn't some like run of the mill type of thing. It was like, okay, we're going to try you, but we can't take it to a game yet. Fixed it. We figured it out. And the kid's a football player. He looks more comfortable at the middle linebacker than he did on the defensive line. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was his nose for the ball. It was, the ability. I think the pass coverage portion of the middle linebacking is probably the most overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
But he made a big difference out there, and a guy who we're used to calling on the assist was making a lot of solos this week.
There you go. But he's only a sophomore, and he's a leader though. It's unreal, like how many times he will blurt out what the offense is doing. Like, he watches that much, and it's hard for the seniors to fall in line with a sophomore, but little by little they're falling in line with him. Like, I think he couldn't be a leader when he's a defensive lineman. Like, he just felt like he couldn't be. But now that he's standing up and he can look everyone in the eyes, he's a different kid.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, football has, that's one of, I think, the most special portions of the sport. It allows for the young guys to really establish themselves on the field.
Right.
Because if what they're doing is working, whether they're 15 or 18, you want to do that.
You don't want to do it. There you go. 100%.
Yeah, we were talking about all the good things that happened in that game. I'm going to bring up one of the biggest, I think, plays I've ever seen on my life. I'm going to turn down our headphones because I'm about to blow people's eardrums out. I've seen plays like this on NCAA when I'm playing the video game. I've seen this once, in real life in a national championship game. I've never seen one like it real time, and you guys are going to get to see it right here. Set here for West G. Hand off to Katz. Katz is going to the corner. He's met by a group of defenders led by J. Anthony Williams, who stole the ball. He pulled it out of his hands. Oh, my God. He's at the 20. Can he get there? Can he find it? He does. Oh, my God. It's like Maurice Clarett all over again. J. Anthony Williams. I promise you, folks, you won't find another play bigger than that one on the network tonight. I've never seen anything like it in real life. J. Anthony Williams, big-time players make big-time plays. He takes the ball out of Kat's hands, runs it back over 80 yards, touchdown, and the Dragons are ahead in this one, 24-23. So, I show that play not only because it's amazing. Yes, it's still one of the most amazing. I don't know that any play will ever top that. I hope one does, and I hope it's in green and gold this year. But, one of the things that sticks out other than, the cheat code that Jay Anthony pulls in there, it looked like a foot race to the end zone, and I don't know who got there first, if it was you or Jay Anthony.
I'm faster than Jay. Nah, I'm not. But I talk a little trash to the kids at practice. I'm faster than them, but I'm not. But I never tell them in their face. I'm gonna be faster than them until I'm not walking anymore.
I'll tell you what, just going back to that play, it's you guys are down by 5 at that point, and it's a big time play, and it's third quarter. You guys are coming back into the game. Talk about the sideline. Talk about your feeling. Talk about what was going on when you guys take the lead that late in the game.
I thought it was over. Like, I just said, hey, all we have to do is hold them one time. We just have to hold them, and then we can run the clock out. We just didn't hold them. But at that time, we're excited. Again, no one has ever seen that play live.
No.
So just to see it happen, and he's a kid who's done it a few times in his life.
Yeah, I found that out after I posted that. There's a lot of people. J. Anthony Williams has played football since obviously his midget league, and apparently he's been doing that since his youth days. So I don't know. Do you guys have a play called Jay Steal the Ball? Or
yeah, I called that play. I called that exact play. I said, hey, when he gets the ball, you take it, you run it back 80, and we call it a game. But he's special players make special plays. How they used to say, primetime players make primetime plays. So he's that type of kid. So in our headsets, a lot of times we're always saying, when the player becomes the player, we're going to be dangerous. So,
yep.
I tell the guys, hey, run the play and then be you. And it's taken us a while for him to get to the you part. And we're getting there. He took it upon himself. We challenged everybody before the game. Hey, if you think you're going to college and you're a 7%er, then you got to be a 1%er in this football game. And he showed he was a 1%.
Yeah, 100%. I would put him in that 1% category. Right. Let's talk a little bit about some of the leaders. We've talked about some of the guys from the game, and we'll bring up the passing leaders. This is something we're going to introduce to the show every week now. We'll go through the Dragon leaders of the week. So through week 4, your passing leader is Omar Ambris. Now, keep in mind, folks, that's only through 3 games. 3.5 games, or 2.5 games there. He's got 242 yards, 3 touchdowns in this one, was able to connect with a couple guys, including your rushing leader, which is J. Anthony Williams. We had to get that one updated. The rushing yards didn't carry over. It's 296 coming into this week with 1 touchdown. Your receiving leader is the exact same person, J. Anthony Williams, 174 yards, 1 touchdown there. Tackle leader this week for the Dragons is Tyree Anderson with 30, and we talked about how much he does on the defensive side, and it's going to carry right over to your tackle for loss leader in Tyree Anderson. This is the one that stuck out to me. The interception leader, folks. The interception leader on the Dragons right now, Nate Bartone with 1. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he took that back for like 70 yards.
Pick 6, yeah.
So
it took him about 25 yards to catch him. That's an amazing play too right there.
So, yeah, Nate Bartone, who's your interception leader from the middle. You guys have a very strong defensive backfield with a lot of different skill sets. And we talked a little bit about that in the preseason show, including our scout team player of the week this week and Jorge Diaz. Everybody offers a little bit of something different. Let's talk a little bit about Jorge and where he excels.
Jorge is
by the way, folks, just a freshman.
Yeah.
Just a freshman.
So Jorge he has the confidence that the other guys don't have. He doesn't remember what he did wrong. So that's like, he has really, when you're trying to coach a kid and you tell them that they need to back like a duck, like the water just flows off of him. Jorge's that kid. So he doesn't remember his mistakes. He gets right back into it, and he goes out and does everything he's supposed to do again. He's going to tell you that I don't like him. He's going to tell you that I hate on him. He's going to tell you, but he's a freshman, and I got to make him know that he's a freshman.
Yeah.
Because when he's a senior, he's going to tell me, Coach, I did suck as a freshman. But now, all he knows is what he sees. So his skill set is he's just going to stay on you. Like I don't know if he's going to bat it down. I don't know if he's just going to look you in your eye. But he's going to be within 2 feet of you.
Yeah, right? That's a fact.
And with a kid like that, just at 13, he's only 13.
It's
not like he's an older freshman. He could be playing in 8th grade right now.
He's just now allowed to see those PG-13 movies.
I think his mom is watching. She won't let him do that either. But he's a good kid. He has pedigree.
You're not kidding. That is a family of athletes.
Yeah, and when I first met his mom, I said, "Who's the worst in the family?" They all pointed at him. So the girls are amazing. They're all state type athletes, college worthy volleyball players. The mom, she says she's the best in the family. So these guys are he has the pedigree. I just hope that when he's a senior, he wants to buy in like his sisters were bought in. So if he does that, the sky's the limit for that kid.
Absolutely. Both of those young ladies took their talents to Heidelberg. Pretty soon it's going to be Diaz University because they're the ones making the difference out there. It was a big week, but that's last week, and we are back to this week. We get ready to head on to the road, and we'll talk about this Hawks team. And this is a tough team.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at a 3-1 record with their lone loss coming to annual playoff contender in Gilmore Academy. But wins over Edgewood, Berkshire, as well as Cleveland Rhodes. This is a team that rushes the ball incredibly well. That's what they've done for the last couple of years, and they're sticking to what's not broken. What are some things you're looking at with this Hawken team?
Exactly what you said. They run the ball pretty well. They're not a shake and bake team. You give me 4, I'm gonna take 4, and I'm gonna take 5. You give me the lane, I'm gonna take it as far as I can take it. The running backs make you run through their pads. The quarterback is 6'4". His father is a Division I head coach. He has the pedigree. They're going to flood you a lot. They're going to mesh a lot, crossing routes, just make you run, make you uncomfortable. So that's what I see from them on the offensive side. On the defensive side, this is going to play a traditional 3-4-2 high, and it's your job to find the gaps because we ain't gonna give you too many.
Yeah.
So, and the defensive line is stout. They're just gonna push you back. Their linebackers are trying to fill gaps, and I'm ready for this one.
So, I believe it. I can tell from not just the talk right here on the show, but the pre-show talk that we always have. What are some things that you guys have to do? What are some things that, Coach Terry wants to make sure so the Dragons are 2-3 going into conference play next week?
Play with intention. Play intentionally. Play with determination. Play with your hair on fire. We faced 2 teams in a row that were desperate.
Yeah.
They didn't have a win, and they came into our stadium desperate. And they showed what a desperate team can do. We have to go into the games desperate now. We have to go into the games with intent. We have the game plan. We believe in the game plan. The things that we've been working on the last 3 weeks, we're continuing to work on with the film study, with the notes that they're taking, with the ownership of the notes. Now can I have in the retention from the notes, not just writing it down, but can you retain it? So those are the things that we've been working on, and I think we're building on those because we can tell that those are the best things that were happening in the game was the things that they were blurting out in our meetings. So when they did this and the kids remembered that, then in the game that's when we succeeded. And then the parts that they had to look back in their notebooks while we were talking, those are the things that they succeeded at. So the kids need to know, it's not about me writing it down. It's about me retaining it. And if Sammy takes the note, I'm going to write down Sammy's note because I don't have that one. So, and just the communication, we're building on that. And we're seeing these guys for who they are. They're a good team. They're a smart team. Obviously, as Hawken, you've been top 10% of your class to even get to Hawken.
You got it.
So,
you got it.
There's some intelligent kids on the football field. They're going to do their job, and we just got to do ours. We're not gonna mistake them into winning. I mean, we're not gonna win by them making mistakes. We just got to go in there and take it.
Yeah, this is what I'm looking forward to, as it's week 2 that I get to cover Lakeside live in person. I'm going to be making the trip to Gates Mills following the Lakeside Dragons as they get ready to take on this Hawks team. And what better way to get play started in the CVC Lake, which I think is going to be hotly contested this year, than to go get one in the CVC Valley division.
I like it. Make them change up a little bit over there.
I'll tell you what, we're going to go to our first break, and when we come back, we're going to start this week with our scout team player of the week, Jorge Diaz, the 13-year-old freshman making big-time moves for this Lakeside Dragons team. My name is Sam Torres. This is the Lake Show live at Los Compadres. We will be right back.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. I'm Alyssa and I'm Hawaiian proud.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
All right, everybody, we're back here with our scout team player of the week. It's Jorge Diaz, just 13 years old, coming into this program, making a big difference already. You know what? This young man has really stuck out even in the summertime as we got, into these 7-on-7s, with tenacity and fearlessness. It didn't matter who was across from you. Jorge Diaz was ready to get busy and get down to it. How long have you been playing football? Because you've got a tenacity that a lot of guys have to build up to.
I want to say like 3 years about. I want to say I started like my 7th or 6th grade year.
7th or 6th grade year, and you started at Lakeside, obviously.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that freshman year coming into this Lakeside program. What were some of the things you were looking into? What were some of the things you're looking to get better with?
When I came in, I'm gonna be honest. I heard that he was gonna be the new coach. I'm like, oh, okay. So like that means a lot better because I heard about him a little. I heard that he went to a couple of good colleges. I'm like, okay, so a good coach. It shows a lot more. I could definitely get my name out there more. And then I heard other players were coming in. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of competition. I'm like, okay, so now I really got to step my game up. I heard a lot of people. I'm like, ooh, can I start over him? Can I start over him? I'm like, man, he like 6 foot. I'm like, I'm over here. I'm like, he like 160. I'm like, I'm over here 140 or something. I'm like, I ain't going to start over him. But then after I got a little better by playing against people that are 10 times better than me, and then I'm like, okay, he may look good, he may be 6'4" or whatever, but it ain't gonna matter no more. It's just about how much you want it, and I think I just wanted it more than them.
So talk a little bit about this senior class, the upperclassmen that you've got ahead of you. You guys have a lot of talent, a lot of speed. You got a lot of guys with a lot of football under their belt. And the old saying is that iron sharpens iron. So you talked about how that made you better. What were some of the things that stuck out to you immediately?
It's how big they were.
How big they were. Now, keep in mind, folks, 13 years old. So remember what those seniors in high school looked like when you were 13.
Yeah. Especially as soon as I seen Bartone, I'm just like, why he so short? And I'm like, man, he big. I'm like, I don't even know how to tackle him. I'm like, do I go for the legs? Do I go for the upper body? I didn't even know what to do. And then there's a lineman. I'm like, I ain't never seen somebody that big. Everybody was just big. The receivers are big. I'm just like, why everybody so big in here? It's so much. it all came at me like in one spot. Speed was different.
It is.
Everything. The routes are so different because in junior high you could just maybe do a little out and you be open. Here you do that, you got 5 people on you in a second, and it's a whole different game from middle school to high school. So different.
Let's talk about that defensive back position. As a fresh defensive back is one of the most, if not the most difficult position to play in football. Maybe second only to quarterback. You're kind of out on an island. It's you versus another guy. You either make the play or they make the play. And if they make the play, usually the score changes. So talk about how you kind of jumped into that, because that's one of those positions, and why you jumped into that, why you wanted to be a defensive back.
I'm gonna be honest. In my junior high year, I used to be outside linebacker.
Okay.
I used to be outside linebacker because everybody's usually smaller or like around the same size, so it was just more about who had more speed or just something like that. And I was faster than I'd say about everybody. So when I came into high school, I'm like, I seen the outside linebackers. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I seen everybody. I'm like, okay, so there's like 2 positions I could go for, either safety or DB. And safety, that wasn't for me. So I got put into the corner spot. I seen everybody for the first 2 months. I was really more than watching, more than doing anything. Like I still got my reps in, but there was like, Sincere was always in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
He was always in front of me, so I'd always be watching him. He taught me mostly everything. I seen him, I watched him, and then when the 7-on-7 season came, I was just like, I want to get in. And I told him, how about we share some reps? And then he shared me some reps, and then I just kept going. And now I am where I am, and the position, and it's horrible. I hate it.
It's tough.
I hate it. I hate it. It's either, like you said, it's either you win or you lose. It's either you make a play or you don't. It's even if it's because like you gotta watch that one guy who's on your outside, but then there's an inside receiver. Cause you want to make the tackle, but you gotta do your job. So sometimes I get a little greedy. I want to make the tackle. I see a little 5-yard out. I see my guy on the streak. I'm like, oh, I gotta make this tackle. I want to pick. But the truth is, being a DB's, I think it's the hardest. Don't get me wrong, QB's hard, but if you got a little time when you're a QB, you good. Or being a receiver, you just add disadvantage on everything. You don't even know what he's doing.
That's exactly
You
it.
don't even know what he's doing. There's probably like 11 routes that he could do, and I'm watching for the first step. Got to watch his hips, watch his eyes. Depends how his stance is. If he a little bit lazy, I'll probably back off. But if he look like he want to do a route, I just look him in the eyes and what's next.
Get ready to it. And I think as a freshman corner, not a big guy either. I think you're automatically going to be a target. You know what I mean? If you're looking at 2 different guys, one's bigger than the other, they're going to try and throw on you. And one of the things that we've noticed, or I've noticed, since the 7-on-7 season is, you're very effective at the position. You don't necessarily go for the interception every time, but you definitely bat down the balls. And when we talked to Coach Terry, off camera before the season, he said he might not lead the league in interceptions, but he's definitely going to lead the league in batting the ball away. Is that something you just naturally do, or how did you come? Because that's a hard thing for people to do. Some people go for that interception and it doesn't work out.
If you want the complete honesty, I don't even want to lie to you. In junior high, I used to go for the pick every time. I came into high school and I started going against these receivers, and they hit me with some mean routes. I remember, I think it was our first practice with helmets, right? They were like, scout D. I'm like, yeah, I'm still freshman, like starting D. I ain't getting on that yet. I'm gonna wait my time. I think I was going against either Matt Wagner or Sincere, right? And I'm backing up. I'm next to him. He just catches over me. Me and everybody's just like, hey, on his head.
You never want to see this. You never want to see him going after the top.
That. And now every time I'm just like, it depends. I'm getting better at trying to go more for the pick since now I'm more used to them. Now I'm more used to more physicality. That little, I may not look big, but I got a little muscle to me.
There you go.
I got a little muscle to me. So I've been trying to go for the picks more. I definitely bat it down when I know it's like he might be closer to catching it than me. I'm just gonna make the decision that's best for the team. If I know it's like 4th and 5, I'm gonna bat it down. If it's like 2nd and 3, I might go for the pick. It just depends. I'm greedy sometimes, like I said.
Well, that comes with youth. Yeah. Absolutely. But let me be the first to tell you that don't let anybody ever talk you down about batting the ball away. Because if you bat the ball away, that means they don't get those yards. So, any coach in America, it doesn't matter if their defensive backs have 0 interceptions, but 27 bats, they're probably winning more football games than they lose. So at the end of the day, like you said, it comes down to the team. So you're going to get a chance. You're working your way through. You're definitely finding more time on the field. With the starter position probably either coming this week or very, very soon in the future. What are some things that we can look forward to when Jorge Diaz is on the field?
You could look forward to anything. Anything. As soon as coach is like, whoever needs to get out, I don't care where it is. Hey, you lucky that we only got 3 running backs. That's a lot. So, because if you told me that Jay was the only running back there, or Devin, or whoever, and there was no backup, I'd be like, all right, I'm his backup, I'm everybody. Till I get that starting spot, I'm gonna come for everywhere. It don't matter where I am, except the line. That's too big. That's too big.
You said so. The line is the only thing that we can definitely make sure.
They got the line, but for sure, as soon as I start, I'm gonna make sure my name out there. I need time. But I'm gonna make sure at least this week or next week I'm gonna get a pick. That's for sure. That's on the line. I need a pick. I can't let Bartone beat me out of it. I heard you told me the interception, and you said Bartone. I'm like, oh, why is it his in there? I'm like, yeah, he got that, but it should be me. Like you said, a couple incompletions could have been easy picks, but I decided to bat it down. Definitely regret now watching the film after, but
Never regret, because listen, you bat it down, they didn't catch it. Now you come from a family of athletes. Both of your sisters are running the show over at Heidelberg. Chris Giley and J-Lo. What's it like being the younger brother in a house full of athletes?
I'm set to be the worst athlete. It's horrible. It's always competition wherever you go. Like sometimes we might go on Saturdays and play against other people in volleyball, and I know how to play, and it's always like how do I jump the highest? And then you're like, never mind, I don't even jump the highest. There's Chris. I'm like, how do I have the best reflexes? And then you're like, oh, my sister J-Lo, she got the best reflexes. So it's like, not even my mom. I'm not even the smartest. I don't even know what I'm best at right now. I'm way.
So you're a freshman trying to find your way on the football field, but you're also trying to find your way in the Diaz family. Yeah. Who's the fastest in the house? Do you at least have that? Oh boy, I don't know about that.
I ain't race. Chris. She's athletic. She did a little track, I'm pretty sure. It depends. We haven't raced in like 2 years. I mean, you ain't gonna hear me say that she win, but I'm gonna tell you me right now. I'm gonna tell you me. I might have to test that out for real. I'm gonna test that out.
You said you're growing, you're getting more muscle, spending more time in the weight room and that sort of thing. Talking about the weight room, what were some of the things you did in the off season to prepare for this year?
So I'm pretty sure for the first I want to say for like the first couple weeks, I didn't know we even had football. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know. I was a little lost. I don't know. I was just lost. And then I remember, I think I heard Davion. He's another freshman. He told me, why ain't you been at workouts? I'm like, what workouts? He's like, football workouts. So I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, I had to go. I shut it off straight. I don't know anything. Whatever Coach Terry told me to do, I'm just
that's the right answer. Yeah. Whatever Coach Terry tells you to do, that's exactly what you got to do in the off season.
At first, I couldn't put a lot of weight on, if I'm being honest with you, like at all. Now further into the season, I could definitely put some weight on. I could compete a little with some people.
Well, listen, we're excited to see the transformation from the 140-pound 13-year-old to whatever it's going to look like by the end of this year, and definitely by the end of your career. It's been a lot of fun getting to watch you. I'm really looking forward to getting to see you throughout this entire year. Here we go. Freshman Scout Team Player of the Week, Jorge Diaz. Good job.
Thank you.
As Comco celebrated 70 years in 2022, we have much to be thankful for. We are proud of the Comco culture as we serve our customers with Comco Care with our premier customer service, quality parts, and on-time delivery. The partnerships we have with our customers and our community are second to none. We thank you for your continued support. We are proud to be part of this community and will continue to offer great jobs for great people.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
Your culinary adventure awaits at Legends Food and Drink. Experience a welcoming ambiance while you explore our appetizing menu featuring over 20 meals under $20 and over 30 lunches for $12 or less. Our private dining room seats between 10 and 20 at no additional cost. And don't forget our spacious 35-seat bar for your favorite sporting event. Book your special occasion in our elegant banquet room that seats up to 150 comfortably. Legends Food and Drink, a taste you'll remember. Market Street and Route 224 in Boardman.
All right, everybody, welcome back here to the Lake Show live at Los Compadres. And let me tell you guys, if you haven't cooked dinner, if you're hungry for authentic, delicious Mexican cuisine, this is the best place you're going to find it right here. Marisol and Luis Navarro, the whole Los Compadres organization does a phenomenal job. It's excellent food, beautiful service. They're going to take care of you. Make sure you come down here to Los Compadres, and thank you to them for sponsoring this Lake Show every single week of this football season. And ladies and gentlemen, I am here again. It's another interview. Allow me to reintroduce him. This is Jaws, J. Anthony Williams, who is going to be our Dragon Player of the Week. J. Anthony, I almost tore my vocal cord trying to call that play. What was going on? Let's start there before we go anywhere else. What was going on there? Apparently, this is something you've been doing since you were young. I've never seen it. How does that even cross your mind?
So the dude, like, they were driving on us, and that was like right after we had jumped off sides when it was like 4th and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just thinking, like, I have to do something, like I have to, like, they're about to score again, and we was already down. So I just kind of like got underneath, like put my arms right under the ball and just ripped it. Yeah, and I've done that before, so I already knew how to do it.
So let's talk about that for a minute, okay? The first time I've ever seen that in real life. Apparently, this is old hat to you. This is something you've done before. J. Anthony, where does that wherewithal in the game even come from? Where did you even think to make that a possibility? I mean, is it video games? Is it you fighting with your brothers over the ball? Is it trying to steal it away from your dad? Like, where does that come across your mind that that's even a possibility?
I would say probably playing in the front yard with my older brother, trying to rip the ball out of his hands, because he was always like way bigger than me. So, I had to try different things to try to get the ball from him. So, yeah, I think I probably ripped the ball out of his hands a couple times. So
listen, you heard that. Deshaun Williams is paying attention right now. That one's going to get replay at Thanksgiving for sure. But, let's talk a little bit about the game itself. You're finding yourself, you were dealing with a little injury, earlier in the year. You seemingly shaking that off, coming in this one, making a difference in the receiving game, making a difference as a running back. Obviously big-time plays on defense. What are some of the things you're doing to keep yourself in shape, ready to go?
So my dad, he's obsessed with those, those like ashwagandha pills, stuff like that. I take those on a daily because, they're good for you, obviously. And just drink a lot of water. You got to stay hydrated, and water heals your body regardless. So helps your body heal back up to 100%. The icy hot. Oh, that's what I was doing to my hip the whole time. Icy hot.
So what are, the one of the things I think that sticks out about you is your mentality. you know, you've got this different gear. You know, you're always going 100%, but it's hard to get past that 100%. How do you keep that going? Because you seemingly make these plays out of nowhere. Is it just something that snaps, or, you know, are you always trying to come to the next big thing?
You know, I just try to do what's best for the team. You know, we were struggling at that time, and it was just like, I guess sometimes it just kind of happens. Like a big play will just happen, but it's not like I'm doing it intentionally. It just like,
Well, let me tell you, you
mean,
say that those big plays
yeah.
just happen, okay? I played football all the way through my senior year in high school. It never just happened to me, okay? I've never just happened to steal a ball away. I've never just happened to shake somebody out of their cleats, all right? That stuff doesn't just happen. You got to work very, very hard to get that done. You know, I got to ask you, you know, we watched the video. You've seen the video. You know, Coach Terry might have beat you in the end zone. Who is faster out of you and Coach Terry?
Like 3 years ago, he might have had me. Like eighth grade, he had me definitely, but he ain't faster than me no more. Not no more.
You know, at that point, you know, you talk about the big fumble. I don't even know what to call it, because it's not even really a fumble. It's almost like a forced, a snatch and score, a forced interception, whatever you call it. You know, but one of the things is you kept going 100 miles an hour all the way through the end zone. Now, obviously, you know, you're probably faster than the offensive lineman who's chasing you, but you keep going. How do you keep that going? Because a lot of guys, you know, might turn around and prime time it a little bit or whatever. Not Jay Anthony. You're keeping it going.
Nah, I mean, I had to put the ball up a little bit, but I ain't start, you know, start dancing like prime time, but I did slow down a little bit, but that's once I seen that there wasn't nobody at all next to me except my teammate Jamil.
Yeah.
But yeah, and what's crazy is right before that play, he was telling me that the kid's holding the ball wrong. So it was kind of like,
so that's where the seed was planted.
It was kind of like I was already looking for it when the play started. So, you know, he kind of set it up a little bit, Jamil. Yeah.
Yeah, Jamil's going to take credit for that. So now you got to give him the assist. So, you know, you're playing on offense, you're playing on defense, you know, you're making a big difference in catching the ball as well. Now, you have been a running back your entire life. Yeah. I mean, since the youth league, you know, that's what you've been doing. But, you know, you've seen where Coach Terry has asked you to maybe line up in that slot at times, come across on the jet, or even go downfield. Was that a hard transition for you, or is that just something you knew you had to get open and doing best for the team?
It wasn't really a hard transition because I could always catch the ball and I could always run a route. Like I always thought that I could be a receiver, but obviously running back, I grew up playing it, so why switch it now?
If it ain't broke.
Yeah. But I always knew I could be a receiver, but not like I didn't think I could do it to this
level. Yeah, because you find yourself, you run a great route. You've obviously got great hands. And, you know, I'm sure Omar is thankful, you know, because a quarterback's best friend is the receiver who's getting himself open. But, you know, you make a big difference on defense as well. When you're not snatching the ball away, you're cracking heads open as a linebacker. You know what I mean? How do you – is that something you like doing? Or again, you're just doing it for the team?
I love it. I love it. I do. I enjoy hitting, most definitely. But instead of hitting up, because I ain't that big, hitting up, so I gotta hit your legs. Like that's what I was doing all Friday. I was just hitting straight legs.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, they had a tight end that was that guy was a lot to take down.
He was big.
So, you know, you're a junior this year, and everybody's got different styles of leadership. You know, there are some people who are the rah-rah guys, some people who are not fighting, but, you know, arguing to try and get people to get better. Some people just show up and do what they do best. What's your leadership style? How do you think you make the biggest difference on this team other than what you do on the field?
I feel like some of the freshmen look up to me in a way.
Sure.
Like Davion, for one. I got people telling me that that's a mini me, which, you know, I can see it a little bit, but he ain't there yet. But I can see it.
He said he's working at it.
And you know, just try to keep the team in check, you know. Just say what the thing. Wait. Hold on.
You're good. You're good. You know, just saying what you should be doing. I think one of the things that Coach Terry said about you is your best leadership quality is how hard you work. You know what I mean? It's the guy who's in the gym going for the extra rep. It's the guy who's in the gym when you don't have to be there. So, you know, you guys have a big game this week. Hawken is talented. They're big. They're strong. You know, J. Anthony Williams, Jaws, cue the music. It's my favorite catchphrase right now on the network. Every time this kid scores, and when I say cue the music, I'm talking about that dun dun, because this guy is like a shark in the water. You know, so you're obviously going to be on their big bulletin board there. What's J. Anthony Williams got to do this week so that Lakeside's got to win going into week 6?
I feel like play how I played last week, but I'll say not be as lazy on defense. Even though I did have 12 tackles, it's tackles that could have been made that I didn't make.
Sure.
So.
Sure. You know, the moment you think you're perfect is the moment you stop growing. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that, you know, it's one of the most difficult things, I think, as somebody with talent. You know what I mean? Is continually pushing yourself, but you seem to have figured that out already. So it's one of, I'll tell you what, you're one of the guys I enjoy watching. Every time you get the ball, something wild is going to happen. Good, bad, or indifferent. If J. Anthony Williams, if Jaws has got the ball, it's going to get wild, and it's going to get wild very, very quickly. You know, I ain't got too much more to say. I'm sure we're going to have you on here again this year. You seem to find a way to make these big plays every single time. I want to thank you for joining the show this week, and I can't wait to see you guys go into Gates Mills and ruin their Friday.
That's the goal.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this week's edition of The Lake Show, live here at Los Compadres. My name is Sam Torres, and as always, folks, this is for the 440.
This for the fofo. This for the fofo. For the city and the back roads, got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the fofo. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcon. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewell got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and Connie I flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the fofo. This for the fofo. This for the fofo.